Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Ali Moreno is with us, as is Don Hutchison and Jurgen Klinsmann. Before we get to your tweets, Jurgen, there are a lot of people asking if you're doing this show from your sauna. Let's just make sure that's not a real thing. Where are you?
No, I'm in my office.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, well, you need to put some pictures up. Yeah. Jurgen, gotta decorate, man.
Oh, dear.
So, we can turn the camera around and you see the ocean, but then I make you.
There it is. Mic drop. There it is.
And where's Don? In a 2-bedroom flat in Essex.
Next to the wardrobe.
So I thought, we make it quite boring with that backdrop. So
I like it.
No jealousy involved then.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, just like that. Oh dear. So who was talking? Don. Who is the manager of Juventus at the moment?
The manager of Juventus?
Yes.
Andrea Pirlo.
Pardon?
Andrea Pirlo.
Pirlo. There you go. We got it. So there were some complaints about your pronunciation during the show, Don. We're very hot on pronunciation.
Yes.
Standard is very high.
Okay, right. Jurgen, your thoughts on the evolution of Kane? He's becoming more Firmino than Firmino, dropping back and creating for runners.
Well, I think it's a good way to, watch Harry kind of evolving in his own game. He can play a solid pure number 9, or he can roam around and open up space. Then, like he did for the first goal, was just amazing ball to Son, and he finished things off. I think nowadays the traditional number 9 is kind of getting rarer and rarer. I think with Lewandowski we still have one that plays really the old style number 9 that I was kind of playing 20, 30 years ago. But Harry Kane evolved his game. Harry Kane is really on top of his game, and all he needs is titles. Harry needs he needs to get some titles and put them in his pocket, and that's what a whole career is all about. Then at the end of the day, and hopefully this will happen this season. It seems there's a good spirit in that group, even if they obviously gave 2 vital points away today. But I see Spurs really this year as one of the teams that can win the Premier League.
He was great today.
Yes, he was. What's funny is when Jurgen's talking about him playing as a traditional number 9, I was thinking to myself, what was I playing? Because that wasn't what I was playing. Hey, what are you laughing at? Jurgen, come on, man.
We did have a question: who went down easier, you or Jurgen?
Well,
the contact.
I said probably me, but some people in Argentina are still complaining about the 1990 World Cup final.
Oh, Jurgen, that's been brought up again.
I'm just saying. That's what my friends in Argentina told me. I'm just saying.
Jurgen was telling us...
it's a long time since Argentina won the last World Cup.
Oh! Hey, there he is. We got him.
Jurgen, you were saying before that you play pickup games, like Sunday morning is your traditional pickup game.
Yeah. Yeah, usually we play at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, a group of over 48 years of age, and we're having a blast like little kids, I tell you.
Hey, fantastic. Don, do you still play? You can't move, can you hardly, Don?
No.
I'm all right. I still turn out for Liverpool bets. We were in Singapore and Hong Kong last year, so
freebie.
I still do my bit.
That's all that's about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I like about Don's little setup? Is the touch of the plant that he's got
he
behind his right shoulder. The plant it's beautiful. It puts it all together.
Ali, you still play as well?
Yes, I do. I put
There's
in
no ocean in Essex, Ali. There's no ocean here.
There's no ocean.
It's just a simple wall with a shirt behind me.
As you know, I put in a soccer field in my backyard.
Yeah, I was there. It's impressive.
Well, there you go. We take all comers, including World Cup champions, Jurgen. Whenever you want to, come up here to Connecticut. We'll take you on. Don't you worry about it.
Okay. What does Jurgen think of the current Germany situation? Does he believe that Jogi Löw is or should be under pressure following a long run of poor results? Cue the political answer.
Well, a national team coach is always under pressure. I mean, that's just normal. And in Germany, the expectations are just you got to win the titles. Whatever you play a European Championship, the expectations is you got to win the European Championship. You go in a World Cup, the expectations is you got to win the World Cup. So Joachim Low knows that. I mean, and he handled that great over the last 14, 16 years. It's no problem at all. He knows that, obviously the expectations are high now after the huge disappointment in Russia. But he's building a very, very vibrant and highly talented group of players right now. You look at Harvard, you look at Timo Werner, you look at Gnabry, you look at Leroy Sané. I mean, there are players coming through in Germany that are really, really exceptional. Obviously, you need a good mixture of experience and younger players. So he's working on that. So when you kind of go between tournaments, those are always the periods of restructuring, rebuilding. And that's what he started after the disaster in Russia. And he's still in that process. And the truth will come out now in the European Championship next summer. He has to prove it. So he's always under pressure. That's something normal you live with. And you actually want that pressure. You want to have pressure as a coach, as a player, because it drives you.
Politician.
Well,
right there.
I tell you what, I bought it. I was into it. It felt like he was talking to my soul.
Ali, what about refereeing decisions from last night between Barca and Getafe? Neon got a yellow after committing 7 fouls and clearly should have been red carded in the first half. Plus, Getafe committed 25 fouls on Barca. I think this person's a big Real Madrid fan.
So what's the question?
What about the referee?
Well, what about the referee? See, when you're Barcelona and you're going to play at Getafe, you know exactly the sort of game that is going to be right in front of you. So the first thing that you have to do is match that intensity. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to go in a 50-50 challenge with Neon throughout the course of the game, because then you fall into the trap of playing what Getafe wants you to do. But Barcelona at no point matched that intensity. And so they did not earn the right to play through Getafe. And so at that point, Neon became a superstar, and Damian Suarez became a superstar, and all of Getafe became superstars and world beaters because Barcelona were unable to not only maintain the possession, but knock the ball around with enough pace so that Getafe were chasing. Getafe were never chasing, they were always challenging.
Just on a question we had yesterday, boys, just because you weren't here and we're talking about officials, Don, would you have wanted VAR back in your day?
No, absolutely not, no. Listen, I work for the Premier League, so it's our second season having VAR in the Premier League, and we're still learning. We're still getting used to it. As guys who analyse the game and as fans who watch the game, it's something we've got to try and get on board with, but we're still seeing lots of mistakes. I couldn't think of anything worse when I was playing, because I loved the fact that football's always been about emotion to me, whether you have adrenaline on the pitch, you get the emotion from the fans. When people score great goals, you see the emotion in their faces. I was never a one. I don't know what Jurgen was like. I didn't score too many goals, but I never, ever practiced a goal celebration in my life because it just came to me naturally with loads of emotion involved. So I wouldn't swap those days.
Jurgen, would you want VAR?
Yeah, I always wanted VAR, to be honest, because I still think with all the mistakes they're still doing, and maybe out of 10 situations, they might make 1 or 2 mistakes, but then they fix 8 or 9. So I think it's something that we have to get along with. I think we can still optimize it in terms of time. Not losing too much time when a decision is made, giving the power, quickly to the people and make a call. The best way possible. I think VAR is important. We're still in that transition, and I'm happy that it's there.
Jurgen, are there any players that you played with your time of the national team that you feel don't get the credit that they deserve?
Any players of the past?
Yeah, that you used to play with in the national team that didn't get the credit that they should have. You can say yourself.
No. I think, especially when when you go back, I mean, I had now the pleasure to actually see my old World Cup 1990 team in Italy last week. We had our 30th anniversary. That's kind of shocking, you know how long that is ago. And so we were almost the entire team with the coaching staff, seeing Franz Beckenbauer there, Bertie Vogt, you know, and Sepp Maier, all the people that won the 74 World Cup. I think it's just important to see that that the players that, you know, went through special careers, you know, that they worked it out after their careers to be in a really good, solid situation, family-wise and health-wise, you know. Were there players throughout, you know, stretches of careers that should have gotten more recognition or appreciation? Definitely they are. I mean, now, you know, nowadays, you know, if you are exciting right back, kind of Dani Alves flying down the wing, you know, you get so much credit because you become a difference maker out of that position. You know, 30 years ago, the number 6 role or the you know, the fullbacks or they never really got the recognition they should have. Yeah, they deserved in a certain way because everybody was looking at the strikers or the number 10. You know, the number 10 was always the playmaker, was the most important player on the field. You know, so yeah, I mean, there are situations where you wish that some of your teammates, like I had one, we gave him the nickname actually Diego because in the 1990 World Cup final he marked Maradona. It was Guido Buchwald. You know, he never got the recognition he should have gotten because he was an outstanding player, but he was just a defensive-minded number 6 player. So if you go through the years, there are always players that should have gotten maybe here and there a little bit more recognition, but that's the way it is. It's important is that when they finish their career, you know, they find ways to stay active, to stay busy, to stay hopefully connected to the game, maybe becoming coaches or, you know, working for television or staying connected to the game and pass on their passion of the game. I think that is really important, and most of them made that transition really well.
Don, yesterday we saw Wan-Bissaka score his first ever goal as a professional player. What do you remember about your first goal?
Oh, I think, well, my first goal for Liverpool might have just been the luckiest goal I think I ever scored in my career. It was at Anfield against Sheffield Wednesday in the driving rain. And it was 0-0 with about sort of 10, 15 minutes left on the clock. And I was on the edge of the box and the ball come out and I was just about to take it on the volley and was at the cop end as well. So I was just imagining my strike being so clean. Chris Woods was in goal. I think he was England's number 1 at the time. And accidentally, I drilled it right into the floor, like so steep. I completely got over the top of the ball and drilled it into the floor. 1 bounce, straight over Chris Woods, into the top corner. Liverpool win 1-0. The luckiest goal I ever scored.
Oh, nice, Don. I like it.
Take it.
Ali, your first goal?
Was actually against Stevie Nicol.
Oh, no, poor Stevie.
Yes, and the New England Revolution at home with the LA Galaxy.
Stevie wasn't playing, you're not that old.
No, I'm not that old, but he was at the bench, yelling at me probably.
Yeah.
The ball was dropped back to me outside of the 18-yard box, so it was outside my kind of range.
Wow.
I would also say that it may have been catastrophic from the goalkeeper, but
That's all right.
it's all right.
You'll take it.
We'll take it.
Jurgen, your first goal, you didn't score many.
Well, professional was in the second division for a club called Stuttgarter Kickers, which is the second biggest club in Stuttgart. Unfortunately, now they're in the 5th division. So, no, but I think I was 17 years old. I got the chance from the coach. I was still playing for the youth team, and then he threw me into the professional team. And so it's a special moment when you score your first goal. It's a special moment when you get your feet wet in a professional game. And from there on, you know, it's only about learning. It's about, you know, watching the older players, what they're doing, asking them questions and just learning every day. And football, I'm so thankful basically to the game because it gave me the chance to travel the world, to play in different leagues around the world, and just keep learning and keep meeting people all over the globe, you know, that love the game as well and discuss the game. And it opened me so many doors so that not only scoring goals was a lot of fun, it was also fun meeting all the people around the world and being connected with the game.
Some nice doors and some doors that see you here. What has been the reason behind the sudden surge in American talent, Jurgen?
Say that again, please, Dan.
What has been the reason behind the sudden surge in American talent?
Well, I think there's the American talent has always been watched and observed by scouts all over the place, in Europe especially, because of the results they had in under 17 World Cups and under 20 World Cups. And if you look back the last 10 years, you know, the under 20, I think they were 3 times now, 3 times in a row they were in the top 8 in the under 20 World Cups when Tab Ramos coached that team, and the under 17 also did mostly well. So it's a natural thing that, you know, people in Europe or even in South America, you know, watch American talent and see, you know, how they develop, and if it's a chance to get them early, maybe win them over to come to Europe and play in Europe, trying it out. But also MLS plays a vital role now. It's a lot more visible, the league, you know, people get followed, the academies, you know, are all over the place. So there's a lot of interest in American talent, and rightfully so.
Don, how does a player feel after causing another player a possible career-ending injury, or an injury that requires surgery and long-term benching on the sidelines? Does it do anything to them mentally when playing?
That's a good question. I think that probably comes down to the individual. I've never ended anyone's career, so I wouldn't know. But I'd be horrified if it happened to me, because you'd feel so guilty. I know plenty of players who have been in for bad tackles, and I know the majority of footballers, you know, 99.9% of footballers are all good lads. They've all got good hearts, and when they do make mistakes and they end up in a horrific situation, I know guys that have gone to hospitals to visit players and certainly sent them emails or texts or got in touch via the club. So, yeah, I can't imagine what a player would feel like. I don't know how Jordan Pickford's feeling at the moment. I don't know how he is. I'm sure he's feeling pretty guilty knowing that Virgil van Dijk's going to be going through an ACL operation. So I would guess at some point, and I'm pretty sure at some point, Richarlison apologised yesterday for the tackle on Thiago. So at some point, I'm pretty sure Jordan Pickford will get in touch with Virgil van Dijk.
I think it depends on the tackle itself and the intent of the player. If your intent was to injure somebody, which can happen, there are tackles in which you know exactly what you're doing, you're in full control of your body, and you make that decision, a conscious decision, to go and get over the top of the ball, or you're sending a message or whatever, and then that becomes a serious injury, then maybe you have to live with yourself a little bit more than the guy that, look, it's a 50-50 challenge, and the other player just got the worst of it, and you feel bad about it, but you know that your intent wasn't there. So, yeah, it depends on the individual, but I think more importantly, it depends on the individual tackle and what your intention was going into that challenge.
Jurgen?
Well, in the heat of the moment, you know, things happen really quickly, and obviously, you know, if it happens that you happen to injure an opponent, it's something that sticks with you. It sticks in the back of your mind, and it hurts the individual, you know. But every situation is so different. Every, you know, psychological element that plays into a situation like that is different. So you cannot guarantee that it doesn't happen. You know, maybe out of disappointment, out of, you know, you're just upset with something. You know, I mean, right now with COVID, you don't have the fans, but the fans can heat things up as well, and suddenly there's a go at each other, and it happens to be a wrong decision that a player makes. So I think because it's so emotional, because it's so hot-tempered, you know, football in general, things happen.
Final question, Jurgen. You've got to give me an answer on this one. Best player in their prime, Ballack, Schweinsteiger, or Kroos?
Of that generation of players now?
Yeah. Who is?
Well, I mean, they all played different roles. You know, I think this is difficult to say. You know, they're all different in a certain way. How they influence the team. They have all different characteristics. You know, to be a leader. All three of them were leaders in their teams, in their club teams, but also in different times in the national team. At the end of the day, you know. It's important then to win a huge title, and Schweinsteiger and Kroos, you know, they won the the World Cup in Brazil, and Michael Ballack unfortunately didn't win a World Cup. So this is something that when we discuss as fans, when we discuss Messi and Ronaldo, we wish them just a World Cup under their belt. We wish them to really kind of to top their careers, which they've been dominating the last 15 years in world football. You just wish them that they finish it off with a World Cup title, because Messi will only be seen as the outstanding player of his generation, especially in Argentina, for his people, if he wins that World Cup. So probably it's his last chance in Qatar, end of 2020, then to make this happen. And Cristiano Ronaldo, he knows that too. If I want to be on the level kind of regarded as, Beckenbauer and Pelé, then or Maradona, that's about winning a World Cup. And so now going back to Kroos and Schweinsteiger, they've done it. And Michael Ballack unfortunately didn't. So it's important that, it's different players. It's difficult to compare them. But at the end of the day, people will look back and say, okay, you know what? Did he get that special trophy, or he didn't?
Okay. Final question, Jurgen. It's your Sunday morning pickup. You have the first choice.
Yep.
You have Schweinsteiger, Kroos and Ballack, all at their prime. They've all gone through a time machine. They've managed to get there. They are there. Which one are you picking first for your team?
No, impossible. I don't want to answer that. Yeah.
I tried.
I leave the first choice up to the other guy.
That's it. Jurgen, thank you very much. Enjoy your ocean view. Don,
thank you,
enjoy your
guys.
plant. Ali, thank you very much. ESPN FC, we're back on your screens tomorrow. Thank you as always for your questions. We'll be back tomorrow for more.
So did he say Schweinsteiger? No, he didn't. Okay, all right.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.